You know, sometimes when we be saying if we feel like it's too dark, it look good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The hair is giving definition. Is it my fault? Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Chanel.
I love when she says that. Welcome back to my
Chanel. For today's video, we will be bringing you guys another unpopular opinion video. Just like the title mentions, this is our unpopular opinion, not yours. So keep it cutesy, keep it demure. We know our subscribers, y'all already always do that. Y'all, we literally have so many unpopular opinions. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree that these opinions are unpopular. Bad baby.
When she started her rap career, she went off.
She had hits. Spinning off flags, I got it.
6 feet checks, I got it.
She really did. Even the one where she did all this dirty, still ain't dirty.
Oh yeah.
That's such a good song. I'm like, I feel like people just hated on her because it was popular to hate on her.
But baby girl, you did have fans, okay?
Gucci flip flops.
Second one, because Halloween just ended, if you were a parent, dressing up as the love interest in the main character with a mother and son is not weird. For example, I saw this video where the mom was Belle and she dressed her son up as a little beast, and people were like, this is so weird, they're love interest. But just because I'm mother and son, I'm not gonna dress up as the teacup and the pot. Like if I want to be Ariel and my son was dressed as Triton, like I don't have to dress my kid up as Flounder or Sebastian. Like you'd be like, oh, that's her dad. Like, so I don't think that's weird. It's like, it's just a costume.
Feeling uncomfortable in the gym, you have your whole ass out and you're getting eyes looking at you, but you also simultaneously have a camera filming that exact same thing and are expecting viewers for said video, is hypocritical. What if that same guy goes on social media and see that video that different from him seeing you in person at the gym and looking at you? Why else would you have a camera in the gym if you did not want to be seen? Y'all don't think twice about the hike up and the fold and the shorts. You can do all that and be filming, but when you see a man pass by, when you pull your shirt down so he doesn't, but you just had your shorts hiked up for the
filming for TikTok. Baby girl,
the math isn't mathing.
Elle mentioned this in his video. He believes that Jesus was ugly.
I have this theory that Jesus was ugly,
or at least not conventionally attractive, and it's because people respond well to attractive people. And we know in society, if you're a conventionally attractive person, you don't have a problem getting people just believing what you say is true because they're attractive. And so he was saying, if you see somebody frail, skinny, a little bit nerdy, and he came and proclaimed, I'm pretty much Superman, of course no one would believe him. A lot of people did not believe God was the son of man.
If Jesus looked like Hercules, you know, he's tall, he's buff, everybody would believe he was Jesus.
You know, these movies of course have to portray his character as like this attractive guy, but I do believe that Jesus was probably not. I think about Encanto, like Bruno, like I think like Jesus was like that. I feel like back then women would have put him on a hear me out cake. Or like not the Jesus we see, the Jesus they actually saw.
Having your kid on a leash is far less embarrassing than having like a whole team of people trying to find your kid in a mall or airport or where have you because you looked away for a second or two.
Your kid's on the ground kicking and screaming, running off, and can't find them.
They're attached, at least they come with you regardless. Because a lot of parents know what they're up against when it comes to their kids. I also do think parents can be a little bit more strict when it comes to disciplining kids, but at a toddler age, like baby, if your best bet is a leash, go ahead and add it to your Amazon cart.
The Amazon card is great. So many women have such fucked up childhoods in relationships with their parents or their dad that they perpetuate that onto other people. So a video, for example, of a daughter sitting in her dad's lap while he rubs her hair as she cries, someone might see that and be like, why is she sitting in his lap? I don't know, he's just touching her face. It's just this projection of like this sexual thing between father and daughters when a dad is just being a good dad, when a dad is being a caring dad. Of course we know those videos, that's very weird, but so many videos are very sweet between father and daughter,
and they're honestly innocent, and people are just twisting
and y'all like run with it. And I be reading the comments like, you can tell people did not grow up with loving, caring, active fathers because they're making this very sexual.
Right.
This guy posted on Instagram and he's like, when I see in my daughter's dirty clothes laundry basket, it's a thong. And he's like, and I'm like, hell no. So people are like, oh, that's just too involved for a father. That's what involved fathers do. I know you didn't have a dad. I know you didn't have a dad. Good fathers are going to prevent their daughters from doing anything harmful in their life. Parents are not stupid.
And it's also a thing where it's like, whatever you went through, I wholeheartedly sympathize. Know that just because you experience it don't mean that that's the average experience. A lot of people grew up with involved, healthy relationships with their fathers.
If you didn't, you did. Don't put that on me.
Whenever people try to come for older people, be like, because we could never be like them. My parents and my grandparents, they could sit at a job for 40 years. It could never be me. why are we downplaying old people? They got lots of benefits for doing that back then. Nowadays, I think you only get pension if you're a state worker, government jobs like teaching and stuff like that. But back then, a lot of everyday jobs had a pension. There was a reason that people put so much time. They relied a lot more on people than today. Like today, you can have your whole business advertised using AI. You don't really need
The bodies.
Yeah, you don't. So when people try to, it could never be me, they wouldn't do it if it was them today either, because there's no benefit to staying there.
Real quick, can we just talk about how disrespectful it is? Like, I'm not my ancestors. Don't disrespect the people who came before you like that. They paved the way with blood, sweat, and tears. As you tweet from your $1,200 phone. Y'all know I'm a big cook. Look at me. Look me in the eye. If you season your food with lemon, you cannot cook. Why is this meat so lemony? I got lemonade meat. Whenever I see somebody do like white rice and then they want to why? Put that in my drink. Like even salmon. Lemon is not a seasoning. I just recently saw this post and it was like for a people that relied so heavily on the spice trade back then. Why?
For the people, recommend 5 go-to spices.
Obviously it's Tony Saturates or Slap Your Mama. If you can't cook, don't touch cayenne pepper because it's easy to overdo. Onion powder, garlic powder, yeah, you need to add those. Get you a ground black pepper. And I'm not talking about no thick ass horse salad pepper. Ground pepper. In Chef Papadone's, he has seafood magic, meat magic, poultry magic, vegetable magic. I'm gonna just say this. If you can't cook, subscribe. And I will teach you how to put them lemons away.
I'm gonna read this one verbatim because I need y'all to hear me loud and clear when I say this with my whole entire chest. Performative activism is far worse than not saying anything at all. We saw this with BLM, we saw this with Gaza,
The election.
It's a cycle. When I think back to the Black Square situation, did it really make people feel better to harass celebrities? Why didn't you post your Black Square? And then they post a Black Square, then what? Then you're saying, you only posted it because we... If you are a person who you want other people to speak out so badly and you have a platform, okay, that quote that says, the potential that you see in other people does not exist. It's what you would do in their situation. Just because you would do that, that's not them. And I don't know why y'all feel like celebrities are entitled to represent y'all's opinions about politics, any situations going on in war in the world. The reason that you followed them was for their music. Where and why did you turn them into an activist? I just want to know. Like, let's sit with that.
And like, there's also plenty other media outlets that you can follow for political world events. You just take a step back and be like, what about what's happening in the Congo? What about the young black child that was killed by stray bullets at the birthday party? It was 7. Are we gonna ask them to post about something every single day, every single time, about every single person in every single country, in every single place?
Y'all only say it when it's trending to post. Even if you feel like a celebrity has more power than you do as a person.
We saw that wasn't true. The performativeness of it all. There's no genuineness behind it. It's like the reason people are posting is because they don't want to get backlash.
So my thing is, if you genuinely feel in your heart that when you see something like, I have to post about this, post it. But if you feel like the only reason that you're posting is because somebody else said that you should, don't post it.
Yeah, it's better to be quiet.
You don't know if that person who's still steadily making those makeup videos, she's actually doing more than the person that only posted and she never even told you. And they're not donating, they're not actually educating themselves on the situation, but you're down that person's throat not even knowing.
Girls doing makeup and people having their signs, taking photo shoots for the Black Lives Matter protest. It was like, you did better hibernating
and not saying anything. Why is, like, oh my god, that aggravates me.
You did better just posting as
you matter.
Yeah, damn right I support it.
Damn right I support it.
Straight to jail. Next unpopular opinion. As you guys know, me and I love cartoons. Specifically, I really love old Disney. If you download Disney Plus, there's a lot of the movies that always come with a disclaimer. For example, Lady and the Tramp is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. They always have the disclaimer about the Siamese cat scene. And it'll say there's a stereotypical racist portrayal, but that is not what we believe as Disney. My thing is, I love how you can add the disclaimer, but it's still in the movie.
Yeah.
When I see Fantasia and you see the original versus the old one, they had what they consider politically correct for the time, the pickaninnies, scrubbing the feet, washing. And I'll put the little scene side by side. Why do we take that out and pretend like it never existed? to make it seem like Disney never did that. Or we're the new Disney, we don't condone that. If y'all can do it for the Siamese cat Asian stereotype, if y'all can do that for Peter Pan and the red stereotype, why do we draw the line at the Pickaninnies? Why do we draw the line at Bugs Bunny? Disclaimer and move on. We know what was before. We know Disney today has nothing to do with Disney back then. But erasing it, it makes it seem like there has been no progress. It makes it seem like in a racist time as it was back in the day, Disney was always inclusive, which is so not true. That's reality. You can see that growth. I'm not saying that we want to perpetuate those names, but like that's what the movie was. Why are we rewriting the movie almost like a Mandela effect? That's not the answer. Erasing it is not the answer.
It should keep it as is and educate. And then move on. We do not see anything wrong with a widow finding love after their spouse dies. We are all human. We are also social creatures. We desire love and to be loved, to love others.
Take, for example, our grandparents were married over 50 years. My grandma doesn't know what life is like without someone else. Say she used 4 years to mourn, and then she was like, my grandma doesn't have a boyfriend. But like, if she was, like, what do we want her to be lonely for the rest of her life?
Like when I think about in terms of someone like a Lauren London, I don't see any problem if she decided to have a relationship with somebody. Like
she's entitled to happiness. Like yes, you mourn that part, but then it's like, you know, you have people who choose not to move on, which that's different. But if you choose to like pick up the pieces of your life and find happiness within someone else,
everybody deserves love.
Speaking of love, my unpopular opinion, I'll insert the TikTok right here.
Women's fantasies, like when it comes to romance. Even in all these movies, their ideal sense of romance is literally cheating.
A lot of these movies that we as women find it to be the epitome of what a love story is, it's always a love triangle. You can go back to Titanic, you can go to Notebook, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. What's the Tyler Perry movie? You're gonna tell her. Family Reunion. All of these movies that women are like, oh my god, there's a love like that out there, where the girl has to pick between the abusive guy with the money or the poor guy who treats her really good. It's always, take the Notebook for example, where both of the guys were perfect. Like, it's all those movies that we fantasize about as women, it's pretty much like cheating. Because in the Notebook, she literally leaves her fiance. She's like, I gotta go handle something. Handle something.
Or like in Titanic, like they made you feel bad for her. So it's like, I can understand her.
I can understand her sleeping with him. And it's like, in our head, we're like justifying it, like, I would do it too. But it's like, look at what we're fantasizing. Look at what we're like, I love that movie. I love that for her. Yeah, and it's like, oh, cheating? Yeah, you love that for her.
If I have a wedding, you're not getting invited just because we're family. If I would not invite you for brunch on a Sunday, you're not coming. Just because we're family. So some things you just have to draw the line with tradition, you know?
So many people that you invite to your wedding show up for the venue, for the food. Who would be the people that would show up if we were like, we're gonna have a backyard wedding, lawn chairs, throw some shit on the grill?
If you didn't have no open bar, who would be there? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because we family or not, no baby.
Since Mia mentioned marriage and weddings, stop putting your timeline of marriage onto other people. In society, we have this thing of like, if you get married to a guy in 1 year, that's too short. If a guy waits 7 years, that's too long. I feel like every relationship is very different.
You should not get married until your relationship has been tested.
Is this person not only able to go through the good times with you, but like the really, really bad stuff? If one of us was really, really ill, how would we react in the terms of like a family death? Some relationships don't take 5, 6, 7 years to go through stuff like that. I don't feel like you have to go through all those things in order to get married, but it was a very interesting perspective. And I think one of my pet peeves is when people get married or get engaged and people in the Facebook comments like, finally.
Yeah, I don't like when people do that. Still going off the idea of marriage, I feel like we have a lot of marriage ones in here, but in my opinion, marriage is not just a piece of paper. I don't see it like that. And also, I still see that as a smaller commitment than deciding with somebody, I'm going to have a child for you.
For a woman, that's the biggest gift that you can give a man. You know, men talk about continuing their lineage. The way our bodies do a 180, to go through all that for somebody that you're not even married to is wild.
So much sacrifice, physical, mental,
emotional,
and like, we couldn't even sacrifice and get out on one knee. That's crazy. I'm forever standing by like, that's a much bigger commitment.
And people are like, oh, you can get divorced too while you're married. Well, I guess we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there, because we're still gonna get married. No,
the smaller commitment, in my opinion, should come before the bigger one.
That's a huge commitment. Unpopular opinion, I'm so sick and tired of seeing movies that perpetuate negative black stereotypes. Like, and trauma. The movies that are all good is like literally black people having trauma, where that's abusive relationship, SA. Ain't you tired, Miss Haley? Can we get a positive movie for once? Like, why does the Oscar-worthy black movies have to include so much fucking trauma? Can we just get a simple love story? Can we get the free-spirited? Is that too much to ask?
Apparently.
There was this TikTok and the guy was like, oh, Tyler Perry put so many black people on with movies and success. Granted, he does hire a lot of black people, but all the stories are still the same. Like, got it out the mud, struggle. Why do all these black women actresses always have to be a built it from nothing? I was broken and abused and mistreated, and I had to become the man in the relationship, and I have to... Why can't these actors and actresses that we love so much play something light and positive and fun and airy and feminine? Why can't she just be a soft woman?
Whenever she is a soft girlie, she's the bougie one of the family that everybody can't stand.
Everybody hates. Like, if that's like a negative stereotype. But the girl who struggles the most, like, everybody loves her. I just don't like that. Give us something soft, please.
Give us a 13 going on 30. Like, give us something that's like with a little whimsical, like magical. Give us something sci-fi. Like,
give us something different. Give us something that we can look at and we're like, oh my god, like, you know, beyond the superhero
books on these hoes. The teenage lingerie birthday photo shoots have got to stop.
Hang it up.
It's giving, just wait and see, a few more years.
OnlyFans coming soon.
I don't like that for y'all.
What happened to us celebrating modesty, especially in young women?
I feel like it's because that's what they see a lot of their favorite Instagram baddies do for their birthdays. But there's a difference between even a girl who's turning 23 from a girl who's like 17, 18. Maybe it's just me and a thing with photo shoots, because even the maternity photo shoot, why am I seeing your lingerie shoot from your maternity pics? That's weird to me too. Maybe I'm weird.
Lingerie and photo shoots is definitely giving for the bedroom.
People just say like, oh, it's sensual, it's sexy. Come up with a new concept because it's tired and it's tacky.
I'm gonna say this really quick little line. I'm gonna leave it at a one-liner. There is nothing wrong with white people being proud to be white. If you could be proud to be black, Mexican, Hispanic, and I get that people might be like, no time in history where white people ever told that it wasn't okay to be. But that doesn't mean that they need to perpetuate that onto them when they had nothing to do with those original rules. If someone is like, I'm happy to be white, I'm proud that I'm black, I'm happy that I'm black.
Yeah.
I'm just proud of who I am. The same way somebody be like, I'm proud of my long hair. I'm proud that my hair defies gravity. I love that for me. I'm proud that my hair can hold a curl. And I love that for me.
And then also, why if a girl says, I'm so happy that my hair grows below my waistline, why is that triggering some of y'all to be like,
so what are you saying about girls who hair don't? She didn't say nothing about y'all. She said something about her. Why do we always take something celebratory that someone says about themselves as an insult to ourselves? Don't internalize that as something that's not being said
at all.
That is very insecure.
And going off of that, y'all are gonna be like, what? Is there a shoe emoji? Because I feel like we just stepping on toes. I don't see
bitch gonna step on my fucking toe.
We don't see anything wrong with white and Hispanic girls wearing braids.
Where we don't like it is don't rename it.
If you're getting cornrows as a Hispanic girl, call it cornrows, okay?
Don't be like, oh, there's a show and the girl's name is Emily Eldridge. She's Emily Eldridge, bitch. Like, that's so stupid. I wish somebody would come up to me and be like, I'm very offended that you wore your hair like that.
Because the Indian Remy hair, that's not my hair texture. That's not my hair type. That's not my hair length, but I wear it. Indian girl, she can't ask me, why are you wearing my hair on your head? That I shouldn't be able to ask her why she's wearing an afro. Even if you're saying, oh, that's not significant to a culture, it's not your hair texture.
I feel like if it's beyond, it's a free country, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's you, it's your hair. It's the intention behind it. If a girl put on an afro, she's going around saying massa, but nobody's doing that.
So if you have a looser texture, you can't wear a wig that's a kinky one, but you could wear a loose texture if you have a kinky hair. Y'all got too many rules for me. It doesn't matter. It's just hair. And unless somebody is renaming it or doing some kind of stereotypical foolishness with it, it should not matter.
People like, you know, y'all think y'all hair could last with those braids. Let her figure that out.
Let her find it out the hard way.
Why do you care? Why do you care?
It's not that deep. Y'all be making situations that's not problems for you, problems for you.
I think a lot of girls get it because they think it's cute.
Me too.
This is probably not an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna just mention it. No one should become a cop unless they're able to truly make an impact and get involved in their community. I feel like a lot of time, the issue that people have with cops would not be an issue if cops made a bigger impact in the community. If you knew your cop, if you saw the cops. I know in big cities it's hard to do, but if cops even once a month had like a car wash or a drive or just something that people in the community could come out and see the cops and speak to to the cops and get to know the cops, and the cops could see them as well. So if a child, right, they build that trust. There's a sense of community, so that if a kid gets in trouble, he could be like, now, I know your mom, I know your grandma, I know your father. They wouldn't be happy with you out here. You know, you got weed on you. You know this is a this offense. I'm gonna have to tell them.
Right.
Instead of throwing down someone's 14-year-old for smoking pot. Like, if you are not prepared to really be in your community, you should not be a cop. If you're afraid of anything, anyone, if you're jumpy, you should not be a cop.
At all.
If someone is raising their voice at you and your first instinct is to hold on to, you should not be a cop. You should be able to have a confrontation with somebody and de-escalate the situation.
And keep it non-hostile.
Yeah. If you in your head think, I find these type of people intimidating, these type of people I stereotype, don't be a cop.
Leave that job opening open
For someone else.
Participation trophies should not be a thing. There's winners and there's losers. You can get a ribbon, but the winners should be the ones that get the trophy. What's the point of having a reward if everybody gets the reward if everybody doesn't win? That's not teaching anybody hard work. Competition can be healthy. We so badly as a society we want them to know that they have a chance too, and we don't want them to be sad that they lost. That's what is required for them to work hard. I guarantee you he's going to want to win next time. He's going to be at practice busting his little behind.
You either win, and if you don't win, you go home and practice and get ready for the next tournament, the next game, the next competition.
The team who lost last time, they want that trophy even more now the next go around.
I get it that TikTok gives us the free reign to post our lives and everything like that, but not everyone needs a platform and not everything needs a platform. Some of these houses that y'all be featuring on TikTok,
Let's just say it,
that literally look like shitholes. I've seen cleaner truck stop bathrooms, and everybody does not deserve a platform, and that comes from this exploitation of people, whether that be children or people with disabilities, for you to garner money. And I can't stand when I'm scrolling past a TikTok live and it's someone severely disabled and their caretaker is just in the camera speaking, and you have like this crazy disability going on in the background, and I'm like, this feels illegal. Someone call the cops.
honestly.
Please get the dirty houses off my timeline.
Yeah, and stop exploiting y'all family members who have special needs. That's it.
Or children, like,
Get a real hobby and platform that.
they're not interested in themselves, so they have to exploit their family.
We believe that there should be prison time for women who lied about the father of their children. Say the statistic.
Of men who get a DNA test, 40% of them are not the father. And these are the men that get the DNA test. Imagine the number of men who don't get the DNA test and think they're the father because they've been told.
Literally.
And I think, as controversial as it is, to piggyback off that, it should be a requirement to have a DNA test when you give birth.
I think so too.
It should be routine as like your kid getting their first shot. They need a DNA test, and they need to have some type that it doesn't take all day for you to get the results back.
There's just way too many situations where these men have been paying child support, taking care of these kids who aren't even their kids for years. And you mean to tell me he's just giving a like, sorry about that, man.
You know he's on your birth certificate, right?
Yes.
And nothing's been done about that for 18 years. You are not his father.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Because either she's going to be in somebody's penitentiary or she's going to be paying him back, and they're going to be garnishing her wages to pay this man back.
And you know the crazy part is, if you sign the birth certificate and y'all break up and she puts you on child support, you have to pay it. The courts are like, oh, you the father, you signed the birth certificate.
That's crazy.
I know. But if you don't sign the birth certificate and y'all break up and she puts you on child support, they have to do a DNA test in order to get you to pay child support.
Mandatory, like she said. And if you lie about that, prison, you need to serve time. Because that is a crime. You're robbing somebody blind.
And
you thought that was
lying.
okay?
Yeah, that's not a little white lie.
Girl, go sit in somebody's penitentiary with your orange suit.
It is such a contradiction to praise women for dating older men and being sugar babies and wanting the silver fox, but then condemning men who want younger women. Isn't that the same thing? That's literally the same thing. So y'all like the sprinkle. When the women are going after the older men, when the older men going after the younger women, he's a creep. Hypocrisy. I think about it, someone will say, oh, that's her preference. She just wants a man with money. That's his preference. He just wants a younger woman. How can y'all say to the man with money, every man want a younger woman, but when the man do want a younger woman, creep? What?
Adopting kids outside of your race is perfectly fine as long as you teach them about their background, where they come from. Kids are not dumb. They can visibly see that you are a different skin tone, that you have differences about you than them at a very early age. Like if your kid has a different hair texture, then like learn how to do their hair.
Or take them to somebody who knows how to do it. And I feel like a step further is make them feel included and do your best to get involved in said thing to make them feel included. Say a white family adopts a black child. One of their neighbors is black and she's like, this week we have vacation Bible school at the church. Don't just be like, oh, go with the neighbor. Make it your mission to attend. Maybe while you're there, you can get some friends for your kid. All children deserve a loving home, no matter what their race. I see so many videos on TikTok of people telling kids they're adopting them and they're different races, and I think that's beautiful. But teach them about where they come from. Make them feel included.
Yeah. Make them feel like they're actually part of your family. They already know they look different.
And my last one comes from a personal experience, and it's a lot of countries overseas have assisted suicides for older people, elderly people, and I do believe that we should have that here as well. There is nothing more gruesome and more inhumane than watching a loved one quite literally starve and dehydrate themselves to death. For example, our grandmother had dementia and she also had a stroke, and the surgery would be too hard on her heart. So after her children agreed that, you know, she would be too weak to go through with anything, they brought in hospice, and we quite literally watched her die for 9 days. We watched her go from patting a wet sponge on her lips to not being able to eat, swallow, open her jaw, and it was absolutely disturbing. Yes, morphine and things like that, but how is that legal? We put down animals when they get sick all the time, but you mean to tell me with our loved ones we have to physically watch them wither away? I would never understand that. Like countries overseas, we need to have assisted suicides to where if the person's unresponsive, the family can step in or the person can say themselves, like, if I'm terminally ill, I'm going to sign this form that I will pass peacefully.
The only thing that's keeping you from knowing that they're not dead is knowing that they're not dead.
Yeah.
The fact that when you look at them, they might as well be. That's incredibly disturbing.
Yeah, I think that is so traumatic. I can't imagine if we were any younger.
That is where we're going to stop for the popular opinions.
I think we have like 20 left.
It's going to be like a part 3.
If you made it this far, comment the shoe emoji because we stepped on some toes today. We know we did.
Let us know how you feel about these unpopular opinions. If you have any.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.
She be moving so quick, you never see her coming.
She wants to see Wanda.
She on me head.
But this be the same guys that follow lists be full of white ladies.
About Norma Smith gave y'all that she was going to be a lefty.
Not like cooking and controversy, but like cooking chat. Stir and spill.
Yeah.
Spill and stir.
Yeah, Spill and Stir. That sounds like a last name.
Spill and
The
Stir.
Spill and Stirs.
Oh, that do. Write that down, write that down. Who are you?
Who are we?
You're that bitch.
Okay.